let's get into it. What do we got in 2.6? Sneak peek.
Wow, it's so beautiful here. So many things I've never seen before. Aren't you two even a little curious about what interesting things you might see at the festival?
Oh yes, I am,
Signed
guys.
first edition is going to become quite the collectible. I've got to get my hands on
King
a copy.
Show's visiting.
I've been here since last night so I could buy a
So
figure.
I literally slept at the doorstep.
Arataki numero uno Ito challenge you to an all-out, no holds barred, anything goes duel. Ah!
Ito's just doing his thing.
Most crucial elements. Inspiration.
Love to see it.
In that case,
Then
we'll need
he's
to order
just
more
drunk,
dishes.
dude.
Greetings. Ayaka has mentioned you on numerous occasions.
Ah.
Delighted to make your acquaintance.
What a
I am
great
head of the
voice.
Kamisato clan. Kamisato Ayato.
Such a slender design. Little sneak peek of his elemental skill. And do his elemental burst.
And they've taken the bait. Now to start reeling them in.
Ayato's Ian voice is spectacular. First thing you have to note, you gotta give props.
If my
Ayato's
suspicions regarding
male
the portal
voice
network are correct,
is very,
then the
very
fact that
good.
there is a portal leading here tells us that the Abyss Order has their eyes on this location.
As the heli-trails go in, they never emerge again.
Monka.
Everyone's driving themselves crazy worrying about it.
Maybe whatever's going on in the chasm really
Chasm
is
looks
connected to
huge.
the Abyss
That's what.
Order.
If we can explore all this, that'd be amazing.
A whole city that's floating in the air.
Upside down.
More than one kind of strange power exists here. That it's highly likely that even as we speak, the Abyss Order is watching our...
Okay, hold on. I can't but notice that this is just one big fat psychedelic mushroom hanging there. Is this not
More
me?
than
Is this
one
not just
kind
me?
of strange power
This is a big
exists
fat
here.
mushroom
That it's
standing in the middle of
highly likely
nowhere.
That even as we
What the
speak,
hell is
the
this?
Abyss Order is watching our every move.
It's just a big ass mushroom.
Huh? What's this?
Conversation's over. Brace yourselves.
I love the voice. Encumber us.
Find a way to stop that thing!
Stop it! Ah! Monka. This was a really good trailer. We have a massive festival going on with, it's like an international festival. We see characters from Mondstadt and Liyue visiting Inazuma for something pretty big, so to speak. We have something unraveling in the Abyss Order, which is the chasm. We see Xlice make a return of some sort in some upcoming Feels Dank Man thing. New character, Ayato, which we have been drip marketed in the past. So, trailer is fairly loaded. Also, this code is expired if you're watching this right now. But yeah. Hopefully you guys all got these in.
Things got dark real fast in that trailer.
It's like everybody was having a lot of fun, and then it's serious time with
Yeah.
that music.
And an introduction by Kamisato Ayato. Just saying.
Yes,
Of course, of course.
our new character.
You know what I really like about this, as I'm interjecting with them, is the fact that their base voices for the characters, like who they are as a person, is very different than what you actually hear in game. This is to speak how good the voice actor did this, but I like his Ayato voice more than his normal voice. I know that sounds weird. I'm not intending to offend him, but I genuinely feel like if he just put on his Ayato voice as his real voice, it'd just be Pog.
And as always, speaking of Ayato, let's dive in by taking a look at our new playable character, Kamisato Ayato.
People clap. Sipping boba tea. Yes, the classic idle animation. I love Ayato's design. Super slick, slender. He's tall and thin. How many particles is that? The burst procs pretty often. It reminds me of Ganyu's ult. It's Ganyu's ult, but in Hydro. Mechanically, we'll have to see, but
Most
it
people
resembles
hunker
that.
down against a strong headwind. Only a few know how to utilize it to their advantage.
What?
Anytime is a good time for boba.
Bro, you just literally just
I agree, but
slurps.
wait, where did you even get that from?
Shh.
Just slurps in the middle of the live stream.
What?
If you're really wondering, in-game Ayato buys his milk tea from a little food stall in Inazuma City.
I gotta find that place.
Kamisato Ayato wields a sword and is a master of the Kamisato art Tachijutsu, just like his sister. However, what sets him apart is his Hydro Vision. In combat, Ayato can unleash large AoE damage in a short amount of time and is capable of increasing the effects of his team's normal attacks.
Normal
After using
attacks,
his elemental
specifically.
skill, Kamisato Art Kyoka, Ayato shifts positions to enter the Takimeguri Kanka state and leaves a watery illusion at his original location. The water...
So I'm gonna pause during this because I can't tell if his illusion follows him around or not. Hold on.
Using his elemental skill,
It's that blue
Art-
thing, is it not?
Ayato shifts positions to enter the Takimeguri Kanka state and leaves a watery illusion at his original location. The watery illusion can explode, dealing AoE hydro damage. In the Takimeguri Kanka state, Ayato's normal attacks become Shunsuiken, which are like quick watery blades capable of dealing AoE hydro damage. After a Shunsuiken attack hits an opponent, it will grant Ayato the Namisen effect, increasing the damage dealt by Shunsuiken based on Ayato's current max HP.
Okay, it doesn't move.
The Takimeguri Kanka state will be cleared when Ayato leaves
It's
the
just
field
hold
or
on.
when he
So,
uses
elemental skill is this clone thing. Can explode, sure.
hydro damage. He has a passive talent, Kamisato Art Mine wo Matoishi Kiyotaki, which means lucid rapid spiraling the
This is a
summit.
very
In
big
case
name.
you were wondering. When Ayato uses his elemental skill and when the water
how
illusion
many?
explodes, he will gain a set amount of Namisen stacks. Ayato's elemental
Okay, so going back to his elemental skill, the first phase is he does a blink and he leaves behind a clone.
after using his elemental
After a very short time, his clone explodes. And after his clone explodes, I'm guessing it gives him this
skill, Kamisato Art Kyoka, Ayato
gives him a Taki Meguri Kanka state, which lasts for X amount of time. Okay, we see we get orbs there. We get like one every 2 seconds. Okay, so it's the same as any other elemental skill that we've been released at this point. Agree? Every single persistent elemental damage-based skill, whether it's Yaimiko or Raiden Shogun or Ayato, it's like one particle every 2 seconds. I think this is a static value that will always be like this to prevent like energy power creep, if you can call it that. I'm going to guess that this is a refresh. This state that he's in, where he applies AoE Hydro with his normal attacks, will be cleared if he leaves the field, standard, or when he uses his elemental skill again. Toggle or refresh. Like, he can cancel his own state by using his skill again?
Next, he has a passive talent, Kamisato Art Mine wo Matoishi Kiyotaki,
Mine wo Matoishi Kiyotaki. Gotta practice that one.
which means lucid rapid spiraling the summit, in case you were wondering. With this talent, when Ayato uses his elemental skill and when the water illusion explodes, he will gain a set amount of Namisen stacks.
Okay.
Ayato's elemental
So that's basically just saying he gains a X amount of stacks. The stacks are, he converts some of his max HP into damage.
Elemental Burst, Kamisato Art Suiyu, will
Alright,
unveil
it's like
a
Ivan
garden of
Burst.
purity in which bloom water blades will rain down and attack opponents within its AoE.
Ooh, sounds pretty.
Gorgeous.
Okay, so how many attacks hit the thing?
This will increase the normal attack damage of characters within that AoE.
Sometimes?
After unlocking another passive talent, Kamisato Art Michiyuku Hagets,
Chat, doesn't the AI of his elemental burst looks almost identical to Ganyu's? Because Ganyu's elemental burst has a very specific AI machine to it. If you guys don't know how Ganyu's bursts work, I think it's explained in one of my guides, but it's very precise in the number of hits per target, up to 5 targets. From what I saw here, it looks literally identical to that.
If Ayato is not on the field and his energy is low, he will regenerate a set amount of energy at regular intervals.
Okay, not dreaming, But if they're going to copy paste mechanics like they are with his burst, I'm guessing this is literally like Kazuha's passive. I have no idea, but I would not be surprised if it had something related to Kazuha's constellation-based energy refunding passive while he's gliding. If you don't know what that is, it's okay. You can figure it out. You know, I feel like a majority of the players who are going to use Kamisato Ayato are just going to use him as a burst support. Like the exact same burst support that like Ganyu is used. Where you just fire your Q. And so why I'm saying this is because like they put a unique style to his elemental skill, yet I feel like it's going to be overshadowed by the simplicity of his burst. Obviously, Kamisato Ayato mains will commit to that beautiful, elegant ///. But for players who just want ease of use, if it's like Ganyu's burst, be like that. Because Ganyu's burst, as we all know, is fairly powerful. And as we'll see in just a moment,
in the new version.
Yep, it's
Venti is on the same banner. And we know the synergy between Venti and Ganyu. You know, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people are like, wait, why would you not put Ayato and Ayaka in the same rerun banner? Now, here's the thing I think a lot of people overlook. You know what would happen if they put two sword users in the same banner? You know what the weapon banner would look like, right? That is what they wanted to avoid. They wanted to avoid a very precarious situation where you would have two swords of varying quality competing.
As for the new weapon event wish, travelers will see an all-new Inazuman 5-star sword called Harin Geppaku Futsu.
Now the question is...
So be sure to keep an eye out for that as well. In version 2.6...
The question is this even worth over Ayaka's possible weapon? Who knows?
Now that we've seen the new character coming our way, let's jump into the all-new area travelers will be able to explore in version 2.6. In our previous special program, we gave everyone a sneak preview of the new area called the
very
Chasm.
Nicely designed. I'm gonna turn up the volume because the soundtrack is actually perfect. It's a bloody perfection for this area. God, I love the different areas. More rocks for me. Hey chat, look, there's Onyx. Oh. The OST is too good, boys. They only gave us a little bit, but too good.
I mean, it'll be amazing to explore, for sure.
Yeah, I just don't want to run into that monster, though. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, just don't.
So cool.
Just don't run into it.
As
just
we
avoid
saw
it.
in the trailer, the outside of the chasm is really beautiful, but there are also deep underground levels that exist far below the surface.
That's where all the scary stuff happens.
Yeah. While exploring the deep underground levels, travelers will need to use a gadget called a Lumenstone Adjuvant to aid them in exploration.
Adjuvant.
This gadget will illuminate the darkness, allowing everyone to explore even the darkest of places.
Oh,
what about my
so
soul?
that'll make it a little
Sorry.
less scary then.
Travelers will be able to enhance the Lumenstone Adjuvant to increase its capabilities. Doing so will also allow travelers to explore more efficiently and will even grant us a variety of rewards, including a 4-star weapon billet and an all-new name card.
Wow.
Nice.
Please,
In the
they don't
chasm,
show.
travelers
Match.
will also discover a brand new artifact
YouTube
domain
frogs,
called
you guys don't know,
the Lost
but
Valley.
I have been
Inside
having
the domain, you'll
fairly
discover a
large
mysterious
pain with the bow
environment as boundless and majestic as the chasm itself. Completing the challenge in this domain will award travelers with artifacts from the Vermilion
new
Hereafter and Echoes of an Offering artifact sets.
YouTube frogs, I'll make a separate video on these artifacts, but for now, all you really need to know is that Xiao finally has a dedicated artifact set. That's the Vermilion Hereafter. This passive is basically suited for him specifically, and any other characters in the future that we may have that we have no idea about if they use this. Second is Echoes of the Offering, which is supposed to be designed for Kamisato Ayato. However, it is RNG. So not only are you farming for an RNG set, but the set also has RNG built into it. That being said, you can either use this or what will probably be the usual Hydro set, which is Heart of Depth, will likely be perfectly fine.
The one and only Dainsliff will also be making another appearance during the story.
Oh.
Y'all? Did y'all know that this motherfucker's name is pronounced Dainsliff and not Dainsleaf? I've been thinking this guy's name is Dainsleaf the entire time. What the hell's Liff?
Next, we'll be introducing a new event for everyone called Hues of the Violet Garden.
So,
Yes.
as we mentioned at the start of the program, there will be a festival taking place in Inazuma. The theme of this event goes hand in hand with the festival being organized by the Yashiro Commission and Yaimiko.
Yes.
With the festival focusing on culture and creativity, travelers will not only have the opportunity to meet guests hailing from other nations, but also finally see some familiar faces again.
Venti and Yaimiko.
Oh, okay.
Yoimi and Klee is such a cute combo.
To see what Yoimi and Klee are up to. That seems like a pretty interesting combo.
This is such a cute combo.
Me too. I'm just excited to go around and see everybody.
Yeah.
What is Ito doing? No.
Ito's picking a fight with Toma. Yeah.
There are a total of 4 different kinds of event gameplay, so let's take a closer look.
First, we have the Moon and Stars Inscribe. Travelers will meet a bard from Mondstadt in search of inspiration among Inazuma's unique landscapes. During the event, travelers can gain a poetic theme and take pictures based on the hints to submit to the commissioner. The more pictures we supply, the easier it will be for them to compose more lines of poetry. Travelers can then choose the lines they prefer and help complete the composition.
All right, sounds easy enough. I'm sure our travelers can handle this one.
Oh, for sure.
Our next event gameplay will be a familiar one for our audience. It's Theater Mechanicus. I'm sure many of you have already played this game, and this time around there will be some new twists to the game.
For the fourth or
Komakata
third
is
time?
promoting the latest version of Theater Mechanicus, and in such a large international cultural event, there's been some innovations made to attract the attention of the organizers and visitors.
Sweet. In the all-new Theater Mechanicus Stage of Brilliance, each stage will have its own special stage features. Travelers will need to work these features into their strategy to swiftly clear each challenge.
What's also different this time around is that travelers will need to equip wondrous sticks before entering each stage.
Oh.
This will be a real test for our ability to make combinations.
Okay, so you can't
the game
do
mode
super
has
OP
also
shit
been
then.
streamlined to reduce the amount of time required to play. Upon entering a stage,
This is
travelers will
fine.
find some mechanici that have already been placed. You may choose to modify or dismantle them, or build more mechanici around them to create optimum combinations that will swiftly handle enemies coming your way.
Cool. Our third event mode is called Clash of Lone Blades.
I think that's good though. If they optimize the event so it doesn't take like 5 years to do a round, that's fine.
Which is an all-new challenge centered around sword fighting.
What is
After
this?
unlocking this game mode, a new duel against a sword master with unique abilities will unlock each day.
What is this?
During the challenge, players will control the
Wait,
traveler
what was it?
and will be unable to use their elemental skill and elemental burst, but instead can use an all-new parry mechanic. Performing a parry will allow you to take a defensive stance and reduce incoming damage.
Alright, it's gonna be easy.
Travelers
I parry
may
all these
focus and
100% no
master the
cap.
timing
First
to
try.
perform a perfect parry.
Yeah, it's gonna be
which
easy.
will give you the upper hand in the challenge.
Cool.
Our final and strongest opponent for this challenge happens to be someone who had no choice but to join the competition due to difficult financial circumstances.
Wait.
It turns out they are just an average store owner with their hearts set on winning that prize money.
You know,
Who
Corp
would
is
have
good.
guessed you'd find such tough opponents from just in town?
How Corpo works.
Travelers should get ready to take on opponents in one-on-one duels.
I thought it was John Lee the first I heard
and
this.
last but not least, we have an Ikebana event called the Floral Courtyard. In this event, travelers will need to follow a florist's themes to create a specific floral courtyard.
Ikebana is
I mean,
an
they're
art
cute
form,
events,
so when
chat.
travelers
At
are
the
creating
very
a floral
bare minimum, you
courtyard,
guys get free
they
rewards
need
from
to
it.
incorporate their
fine.
own interpretation
They're
of beauty.
So what you're saying is, if
all
your
you
courtyard
metafrogs
is
are just
looking
bad
ugly,
right now.
then you're probably doing it wrong.
I see you.
People
That's
cute.
about all we can share about this event for now.
All right.
After participating in all 4 of these special event game modes and reaching certain criteria, travelers will be able to invite Xingqiu to join their team for free. So, don't forget to try out all the events.
Yeah, maybe you'll find
good.
a new favorite.
Give them a shot.
Xingqiu is definitely still
Everyone should
very
be sure
high
to have
quality
a good look
support
around
to
the
have.
festival. The streets of Rito will be
Very
specially
good for
decorated
newer
throughout the
players,
Yodori
especially.
Festival.
Version 2.6 will also be featuring an event for travelers who enjoy spending time in the kitchen. The event is called Spices from the West.
Cooking?
In this event, a person from Sumeru is visiting to do research on seasonings.
Oh, Sumeru.
She hopes to find someone who can help her conduct her
That's
research
Cage?
by making seasonings according to recipes and taste test dishes using these seasonings. All the recipes will be available before the event ends. When you begin making the seasonings, the needle on the slider will move back and forth from
Bro,
edge to
I'm
edge.
a perfect gamer for
Follow
this.
the instructions given on the recipe.
My
and
flawless
press the
bartending
button as the
ability
needle
is no
points to the
match for
corresponding
cooking.
ingredient to add them to the pot.
Oh.
And just as a reminder to everyone, there is a limit to the amount of mistakes you can make while creating a seasoning.
Just
So
get it right
be sure
first
to make
try.
the best of each chance with as little mistakes as possible. In version
What's
2.6,
this?
we will be receiving a new challenge event called Vibro Crystal Research.
Lots of events.
We find a
boys.
researcher from Fontaine on the outskirts of the chasm studying the harmonic motion transmitted between gems known as vibrocrystals. After the player configures their own vibrocrystal setup, they will obtain different combat buffs.
Okay.
Transmitter crystals govern the triggers for the buff effects, and receiver crystals will trigger the buffs once the conditions are met.
Oh.
I see.
This all sounds very scientific.
Jesus.
Did you pull that out of your sleeve
He
again?
still has boba?
I always have boba.
Each challenge is split into 2 battles, which will require travelers to compose 2 teams for the challenge, as
Okay,
well
like
as
Abyss.
different vibrocrystal setups. Of
Like
course,
Abyss.
the game will also provide some trial characters to help
That's a
everyone
lot of
complete the
orbs.
challenge. Defeating enemies will award points, and travelers will be given an insignia based on their score. It's gonna be awesome, so be sure to give it a shot.
Eggman?
Yeah, sounds great.
Interesting.
Finally, in addition to all the events we've already mentioned, Leyline Overflow will be returning once again for version
Okay.
2.6.
More
Nice.
Travelers
resin
can
efficient
watch
stuff.
for future announcements for more details. You definitely don't want to miss the chance to get some more
Ah, this
Mora
is good,
and
this is
character
good.
EXP
For catch-up
materials.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Next, let's talk about some system updates and optimizations to the game.
QOL?
First, we have an optimization to the game's mobile version. After the update, travelers will be able to tap and hold on the icons of the characters in their party to quickly bring up the party setup menu.
That's pretty good, I think.
Nice.
I don't know.
So it'll
I don't
be
play on
way
mobile,
easier
but I
for
would
the
feel
mobile
like this
players
is
to
pretty
open up their
useful and
party setup
intuitive
and
as
do some
well.
changes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, also, there will be multiple improvements coming to the tutorials archive system, making it easier for travelers to reference.
Oh, cool.
First, the tutorial icon will always stick next to the minimap on the upper left for new players, making it easier to access the tutorials archive.
Interesting.
Plus, players will be able to quickly locate the tutorials they viewed recently, and the system will even remember where in the tutorial you last left off.
Okay, that's good.
Finally, in the Living
The
Beings
where you
archive,
left off thing
the
is, I
tutorial
think,
button will be
good.
adjusted to a more obvious location.
That all sounds pretty handy.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
stuff.
otherwise, though, I
And
don't really
last but certainly
feel
not least,
that much impact from
during
these.
version 2.6, Genshin Impact will be releasing the second OST album for the Inazuma region,
Pog?
Islands of the Lost and Forgotten.
Oh, wait, this is Enka music, right?
The album will be comprised of a total of 3 discs featuring music from Seirai Island, Watatsumi
yes.
Island, Surumi Island, and Enkanomiya, as well as some epic combat music.
God,
Enjoy
the
listening to
music
that
in this
gorgeous
game is
music.
just
I
goated.
know I will.
Solid. 2 reruns. Got a big festival. Story quest. Archon quest. Chasm. Exploration. New character. Ayato. Like 5 to 6 or 7 events over 6 weeks. Which will be probably 1 per week. Fairly solid, I would say. Personally, for me, we don't know specific details yet unless you are a heavy dreamer on Boba Man himself over here. We are posting this 1 day late, but that's just because I am not waking up at 5 a.m. to do this. So I'm waiting for my next rotation of my stream, which is now. I'm going to be making some off-stream videos. I should be taking a look at Ayato in a little bit more detail, trying Trying to do like a pre-release segment on him if I can. Not sure if we can do it based off the information, but I will try my best given that I believe his burst is, as I mentioned, like Ganyu's AI. That in itself is already a pretty solid information to be able to build stuff off of. Second thing, I do not have a Venti guide, so I am going to prepare a Venti guide. I'm going to try to make it as concise, information dense as possible without wasting too much of your time. I will try my best to also have Ayaka's condensed guide version. We will assume that you have some basic knowledge of Ayaka, and then yeah, that'll be for the second half. Also be going over artifacts. You guys generally, I think, know how the artifacts work though, but I'm going to explain a little bit the nuances, spend a little bit of time. That'll be an extra video as well. Okay, YouTube frogs, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know where to find my Twitch channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.